We have no mercy for those that come to disrupt the restoration of this struggle. We don't negotiate with anyone. We will never do that. Because when you do things like that, you encourage the same thing to be inside the government, and they will continue to do what they are doing. There's an added access.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you once again to this amazing platform where we bring you information that has to do with the United States of Biafra. Information coming from the right source. In this platform, we promote and support the restoration fully and recognition of the United States of Biafra under our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and of the Supreme Commander of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Today, under the leadership of Dr. Ngozi Orabweze, the Deputy Prime Minister. Wherever you are and you're watching this program, I welcome you. Please like and share to all platforms. In this program, we will be continue to show you information that are coming from all angles, more especially things that has to do with the Biafran territory, regardless where it is, whether in the east, in the west, in the north, in the south. We bring it before you so that you can digest it and have a rethink and know where you stand. The only thing that can guarantee our freedom in that contraption called Nigeria is Biafra. It is either Biafra or nothing. And wherever you are, continue to support the United States of Biafra. That is the only way to go. That is the only way you can have good economy and have security. Regardless what you see today, do not get distracted. Do not get bemoved. Continue to stand your ground, to demand for self-determination because it is your right. Do not allow anyone to take away the right to self-determination, the right to self-defense, and the right to life from you. Kindly watch this video for more wisdom. Let's watch.
The indigenous people of Biafra IPOB has denounced the ongoing trial of its leader, Nnamdi Kanu, calling it a state-managed show of shame and accusing the Nigerian government of conducting a politically motivated and ethically biased prosecution. Right, in a statement by spokesperson Emma Powerful, IPOB accused the Nigerian government of using the judiciary for ethnic persecution and warned that the continued injustice could threaten Nigerians' unity. The group criticized the credibility of court witnesses and urged the presiding judge to uphold justice. Of course, while the government insists Kanu must face charges, human rights groups have raised concerns over the fairness and transparency of the trial. Of course, we'll still have in the studio to make sense of this stories is Mr. Peter Anasike, Voice of the People TV analyst. Also in the studio, we have Mr. Dele Fanimo, a seasoned reporter and also VOP in-house analyst. And from our Benin studio, we have Dr. Bright Onuvokuko. He is a medical doctor, a public affairs analyst, a political analyst, commentator, human rights activist, advocate as well. Well, I'll start by saying good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Anasigan. Good morning, Mr. Dele Fanimo. You're looking all bright and shiny. The Friday must have been good to you.
Very good.
All right. Very interesting. Talking about the Nnamdi Kanu's case. We've seen a new twist. It looks like all of a sudden the DSS and the federal government are interested in bringing forth all they have against Nnamdi Kanu. But it looks like IPOB wouldn't have it. They're not interested in what is going to happen. They've been saying, try this guy. Let's know what you're really trying this man for. But now IPOB is saying they're saying they're not interested. This looks like a public persecution. What do you think, Mr. Telefan?
You see, at some point, you need to be a little bit circumspect of running foul of the law, because any case that is currently in court, there's a level at which you can comment on it so that you don't have a sub judice hanging on your neck. But that does not mean we cannot talk politics around a case. But I'm not going to dwell on the evidence before the court. But that's it's like you are trying to preempt the judges even before they arrive at their conclusions. So, but the politics behind it, for me, up until now, I've not seen any credible link that could convict Kanu of treason based on the evidence put before us and reported by the media. So to that extent, for me, I would rather, if we couldn't get political solution to this impasse that had lingered for more than 7 years, then let's go the way of the judiciary. After all, whatever comes out of it, it still has the second and third layer, which is the appeal court and the Supreme Court, to go. And so, justice must be administered, but it must also be seen to have been administered. And justice also demands equity and fairness. So there are many lawyers that are interested in this case. There are many lawyers following this case up. And the judiciary cannot afford to turn a blind eye on fairness and equity in adjudicating on this matter. So we are waiting to see the outcome of this case. And then one thing again is that IPOB should, for now, mellow down and follow this case the way it should follow it. If there are any reasons to raise alarm, well, why not? But then, on the basis of evidence before the court, I think it is not within their purview to begin to say this evidence is right or not. Let the judge do their job. Let the judges do their job.
All right, Mr. Peter Anosike. Well, Emma Powerful said on Friday that he is accusing the government of having, orchestrated a biased and politically motivated trial. And he also made a statement warning that the country is approaching a breaking point. Now, a lot of persons are of the view that this might, prompt a lot of persons in the Southeast to shut the Southeast down, because we know very well that we're still, having the seat at home in most major cities in, the Southeast, if not all. And then now he's saying that the country is, going through a breaking point. How do you judge what he just said?
Well, for me, as a philosophy student back in the days, we were told, if you start with yes, continue with yes. If you start with no, continue with no. Once you contradict yourself, you've lost your case. So the whole country have been saying, if you have anything against Nnamdi Kanu, go to court. Instead of detaining him that at the DSS custody. So he is now going through a legal process. And for me, I prefer a court setting him free than any president saying, I have released the Nnamdi Kanu, understand? And maybe expecting that's a favor in return. So I prefer let him go through court processes, understand? But again, opinions doesn't affect cases in the court, because what a judge makes use of is the evidence before him, not what people say outside. So, government is to present what they have against Nnamdi Kanu, and there should be cross-examination at the end of the day. So it is the weight of evidence that determines who wins in the court. So he has assembled some people to defend him. So IPOP should allow them to do it. Understand? So then let me see the court, the prison that they will jail Nnamdi Kanu. Understand? Let me see whether it is Kirikiri prison or Kuje prison.
All right, taking a look at this broadly, we've seen uprisings from different parts of the country. We remember what happened in the Niger Delta when the militants went to the creeks and started threatening to burst the pipelines and so on and so forth. They even did some destruction. Then
That's
amnesty.
Only uprising, no. So I don't know where you have seen.
I'm just
many uprisings.
Of course, some Boko Haram started like an uprising, you know. And at the end of the day, we saw a situation where amnesty was granted to that of the Niger Delta. And some people will say that that was what encouraged a lot of other uprisings that started coming up, like groups who wanted self-determination and so on and so forth. Now, why is it that the solution that applies to the Niger Delta cannot be applied to other regions where people are coming out asking that they want to be out of the country? Of course. Why is that solution not being applied to the case? Why not have a situation where IPOB will have a discussion with the government? Let's look at the problems of the Southeast, solve it, and stop you from...
These are two different issues.
Okay, what's the different issues there? Please explain.
The men, understand, Tom Pondo, Ateka Tom, and the others, we are fighting for resource control. We want to control the resources in our part of the country. They were not asking for self-determination.
Okay.
So these are two different issues. So IPOB say that they are not being justly treated in the country. Okay. So they want to separate from the country. We don't know the vision of Boko Haram. Understand me?
Boko Haram simply means against Western education. At least that's the meaning of the Boko Haram.
So different situations should be handled differently.
Okay.
Understand? So IPOP is not asking for resource control. Understand me? So it's a different thing. And now Nnamdi Kanu is in court.
What I'm really particular, can there be a compromise, for instance? Okay, so that this guy...
I don't want a compromise. I want a court process.
Mr. Delifan, can there be a situation where they will find a solution?
I would have...
The common ground?
Yeah. I would have loved political solution to this before now. But since everybody is saying, okay, let's just try this man and see how culpable he is in this case. Well, for me, the case is on accelerated trial. And so, what should have been done in the past that would have accelerated the process and then get to a concluding part is now being done. Almost every day now, they go to court to give evidence. I think by next week, the federal government should have wrapped up its case, and then the defense will start its own...
cross-examination. Cross-examination.
That's what I'm saying. The defense will start cross-examination before they also bring in their own evidence and witnesses. So, the way it is going now, maybe in the next 1 month or two, we should get to the concluding stage where judgment will come. And so, if whichever way the judgment goes, the defendant has opportunity of appealing to the appeal court, and if the outcome of the appeal court is not favorable, then you go to the Supreme Court. So there are other layers that you can also explore to fight your case. And because one thing again is that this is a case that attracts capital punishment. The minimum you can get in this kind of case is maybe life imprisonment if you are guilty.
Okay.
And then even execution by hanging. So, and that's why I said the trauma of going through this would have been averted before now if there was a political solution to this crisis. Kanu has a right to want to get freedom for his people. And the curious thing about it is nobody has said that they have found arms, or maybe he's importing arms to arm his people against the state. So for me, I think you can't convict on a lesser sentence for a capital offense. You can't say he's guilty, but he can go for 2 years imprisonment. If you have established treason against him, it has to be either life imprisonment or death sentence. So, but I'm sure that it's also a way, the way I see it, is also a way of finding permanent solution to it. Because if the federal government decides to free him, he will be freed with conditions like don't talk to the press, don't go to see this place, you cannot form political association and all that. But if he's discharged and acquitted by competent courts, that means he is free as a citizen once again to do whatever he wants to do under the ambit of the law. So I think those who are angling for trial, they know why they are angling for trial.
Okay.
And those who feel there should be a political solution, before now, they had their reasons, you know. But government has chosen the path of the judiciary to let us close this case once and for all. So let's just wait until the judgment, which is coming in a very short while.
Well, of course, I think that's where we'll anchor this particular conversation for today.
All right, now moving on to the educational sector, where why candidates in Delta State to take exam in darkness depend on torch lights. We'll discuss this after this break. Stay with us. You're still watching the Morning Buzz on Voice of the People TV.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. Still the Morning Buzz and Voice of the People television. All right, we're just talking about the WAEC candidates at the Unity Model School in Asaba, Delta State. Were forced to take an exam in darkness on May 23rd, 2025 due to a delayed paper delivery and lack of electricity. Originally scheduled for 2 p.m., the exam began around 6 p.m. with students using torch to write their exams. And of course, a video online captured the scene and criticism from a witness, raising concerns over the treatment of students and poor exam conditions. And of course, that's the video you're watching. Of course, seeing the torch lights. How come a cell phone was allowed into the exam hall? Okay, a lot of things are already started good.
Yeah, it's a woman that filmed this.
Who's the woman? Is she a candidate
No,
or
she's
a mother
not.
to one of the candidates?
I think so, because most of the parents actually brought their words, and then the woman was complaining that even during their time when they used the
exam is
lantern,
already looking forward. If the parents could have access to the exam hall and start filming, okay, what stops malpractice?
you need to protect your child. You don't know how safe that environment was at that time.
This is already malpractice. What if the parents come in with chips?
That's not the bone of contention. The bone of contention here is the fact that WAEC actually did not make proper preparations to make sure that the students writing that exam.
I think it's not WAEC. It's not WAEC. It has to do with the school too, because there's something about discretion.
Okay.
If the paper didn't arrive on time, why not postpone it to the next day? We now have a situation, we'll postpone it to another day, write to WAEC, okay, your paper arrived late. We've seen discretion. Discretionary
let's
measures
take a
should
look
have been taken.
at the video. Let's listen to the audio.
Okay.
They are using torchlight to write WAEC. Even during my time of lantern, we not use torchlight write WAEC. It's not okay. is supposed to start by 2. It's starting, they brought it by 6. No light in the school. And it's hiding, it's using torchlight to write WAEC in Unity Model School, Asaba, state capital, not in a village, live and direct. WAEC must write exam by night. What's the name of this paper? People are still writing. See them now with WAEC calculator. Writing by night. After they will say Tinubu is bad. This is wickedness. Writing exam by night. They are supposed to bring this paper by 2. They stay till night. After they will say it's Tinubu. It's Tinubu that told WAEC to come. He's collecting their papers that they should go.
Meant to be for 2 p.m. But of course, we saw that the lady also said that the paper arrived around 7 p.m. and then they still had to take their exam. But it makes me wonder if we're really moving forward or we're moving backwards in Nigeria, because I know very well that a lot of money is being put into place to make sure that these exams, is being taken. I was just reading how much Lagos State put into the WAEC exam for 2025. Also, Delta State, a lot of cities putting millions of naira just to make sure that these exams, go on. And then we're asking, where are we heading to as a country? Well, of course, we have the gentleman in the studio to still analyze those stories.
Yeah. Mr. Dele Fanimo is already looking like a father who is not pleased. And Mr. Noske definitely is a very, very strong advocate of education being done properly. And if you take a look at this matter, where does the blame go? Where does the buck stop?
There are 2 sides to this.
Yes.
1, the helplessness of WAEC in this. Then 2, lack of infrastructure in schools. This is the same Delta State. They are claiming that an ex-governor stole over $1 trillion. And yet, this is a model school, not just ordinary school, in the state capital. So now let's start with the exam body. You see, this is West African Examination Council, not National Examination Council. So simultaneously, as they are writing here, they are writing in Ghana, they are writing in Gambia, they are writing in other places. So the exam must be taken simultaneously. So there could have been some logistics problem in the course of moving the papers, because the papers are kept in a safe place. In some places, they keep it in the central bank. And until the day of the exam, those papers are not released to the Ministry of Education or to the WAEC officials for distribution. So between where they collected these exam papers and the point at which the students would come and write the exam, there could have been some itches. But that is not to exonerate them completely. You understand? There should have been a communication between the school authorities where this exam is taking place and the WAEC zonal office in Delta, that there is a itch, and then get feedback from them, either to cancel the exam and sort it out at a later date for students to come and write, or find an alternative in a school that is close by where they could have surplus answer scripts and question papers that can be deployed to there. Because Asaba is still within Asaba.
Yeah.
There could be, there won't be there won't be much logistics problem there. Because wherever in Asaba, the whole of Asaba, you can move from one point to the other in less than 1 hour.
Yeah.
So there will be some question papers that are still locked in the vault of either the central bank or the office of WAEC that can be deployed to make sure that these students don't suffer this trauma. That's on the side of WAEC. Now, on the side of government, if you know what they call a model school, that is, that school is built purposely for other schools to emulate. A model school should have all the trappings of a model school, including electricity. In fact, in some model schools, they have ceiling fan in times of heat. They have good quality laboratories. So that if a contractor is awarded contract to renovate a school, the first place you go is to go and find out what is happening in any model school around. There are not always many. In the whole of Asaba, you will not have more than 5 or 3. So, if a model school is suffering this in a state capital, now imagine what back street schools in far-flung places in a week to teach. And the cumulative effect of all this is that we are creating a class society akin to that of India. There are some people in India that they have resigned themselves to fate. They cannot cross over to the other side. Their brain is skewed towards accepting their fate in this part of the end. And then there is one here that feels that these people were made when God was not too serious about making human beings. So, at the end of the day, these students that are still in Asaba and they are treated this way. Now imagine what they would do to that student in the hinterland. Now, when you now place these two people side by side by society, you now begin to blame this one that had gone through 6 years of secondary education without any interaction in interface with computer system. And yet you say, do you know why some people fail JAMB? Some people are seeing this thing that we take for granted here, that we buy for our children. They are seeing it maybe 2 weeks to exam. Yeah. So they want to rush them through what they need to rush them through. At the end of the day, you see a student, he has 4 questions, he has question papers, 4 to answer. Once he gets to the end of the first question and he sees submit, he submits. And the moment you submit, you can't go back to the second question or third question. You are finished.
So people are very slow in understanding.
Thank you so much for watching the program. I appreciate you for your patience to watch from beginning to end. I hope you have learned a lot from this very program that I just played, this video. Please like and share the video. Share to all platforms. After sharing the video, now you can go to the comment section and put down your comments. Whatever suggestions, contributions you have to make, what do you think about the video I just played? Go to the comment section and put your comment. I will go to the comment section and I bet you I am learning a lot from there and you can equally learn from there. Let us share our experience on that comment section. Thank you so much and stay blessed. Don't forget to share and we continue to bless you as you share. Biafra government, peace, progress, unity and equity. We move.